You are watching Midnight Movie Talk live, afternoon edition. Why? Because we have breaking news. James Gunn has found his Superman, and it's who we expected. Go back to our first discussions about James Gunn looking for the next Man of Steel. What's the first requirement that we said had to be met by the actor that steps into Henry Cavill's shoes? He's got to be tall. He's got to have physical stature, a presence to him. You cannot cast a 5'8" actor as the Man of Steel. It's not going to work. So James Gunn goes out and gets David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan for Clark and for Lois. Let's start with David Corenswet. Let's bring in the breaking news, though, from Deadline announcing that Gunn has found his Superman and Lois Lane. Following months of audition tapes and in-person screen tests, Warner Bros. And DC have their new Clark Kent and Lois Lane, David Corenswet, and Rachel Brosnahan. So the decision comes after the two were among the few selected to test in front of DC co-chairs Peter Safran and James Gunn, who, yes, as you may know, is directing the film. They had the full costume, they had the makeup, they had the whole thing. Like, let's see what you guys look like, the real deal. Took place over 2 days. With the men, there were 3 dudes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but at this point, we know who it is. But 3 up for it, down to 1 for each side. And it took a long time. I mean, listen, you want to get this right. There's a lot of fans out there that were pissed off about Henry Cavill being shown the exit, right? They felt like he could continue as Superman, but not per James Gunn. And let me walk you through the decision from certainly how I would get it as an executive over at Warner Brothers. You are in a situation where you want to make multiple Superman films over the course of at least a decade. Go and look at what happened with Matt Reeves and the Batman. He needed an actor that was younger so that he could drag that actor across a decade in multiple projects featuring Batman. And in this case, same thing for James Gunn. He needs someone who is at least early 30s, hopefully late 20s. You can take up until about 40. At that point, let's just call it what it is. Once you're 40, it gets to be a little ridiculous as a superhero, unless you're obviously Robert Downey Jr., who grew into that role over the course of a decade plus. But in this case, you really have to nail it. And I'll tell you, let's talk about David Corenswet. If you aren't familiar with him, if you haven't seen his work, I'm going to put you on Pearl. And we'll look at a picture from that. Do you remember him from Pearl? There he is. Let's make it bigger and make me smaller. He was the projectionist in Pearl, of course, the prequel to X. X, one of the best horror films last year. I like X more than Pearl, but we're not going to debate that right now. We are talking about David Corenswet, the actor. Does he not look like Henry Cavill? He's a doppelganger, right? You look at him, you're like, that's absolutely Henry Cavill. He's 6'4". Let me show you, because that's the first thing I wanted to confirm, that the dude was tall. He's 6'4". So we call this, guys, this is what we do on Midnight Movie Talk. For those of you who are just joining us here in the afternoon, you're like, what the heck's going on? This is usually on at 11 o'clock in the East Coast, 8 on the West Coast. We moved it up an hour for you. Now we're in the middle of the day. So no excuses for you not to be here live. Everyone else is like making videos right now on YouTube. Here's David Corenswet. Here's Rachel Brosnahan. Edit, edit, edit. We are like, no, we are going to boom, shoot live. That's how we do it. Corenswet, 6'4". He's got the physical stature, like we said months ago, you have to have. So you knew that it had to happen. And look, James Gunn proves us right, because you have to look the part. Rachel Brosnahan, let's discuss her. I don't watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, right? That's what it's called. I literally do not watch that show. But here she is. What I know her from is the movie that came out in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, called I'm Your Woman. Great actress in that film, and certainly The Courier, she was in that. I'm looking at through the IMDb here. Boomtown, and then going back to Patriots Day, she was young. When you look at her filmography, it's the perfect arc to get to this point. Corenswet doesn't have the credentials yet, but let's face facts too. Superman doesn't really have to be the most polished of thespians, right? I mean, Henry Cavill is fine as an actor, but do we put him in the discussion for, best actor, right? For Man of Steel or for anything, for being in Mission Impossible series? No, of course not. You don't need Clark Kent to be the best actor on the planet. You more need to pay attention to the physicality of the actor that we're looking for, and that's exactly what we did here with David Cornish, who at 6'4". He fits the bill. Now, here's what I want to talk about, and I'm going to get to some. If you have a super chat coming, because this is going to be a pretty tight stream today. Just because we're on in the afternoon doesn't mean we're going to go for like an hour. I'm probably going to make it tight. I got MI7 tonight, and we got a reaction stream tonight late for that. For those of you looking forward to my reaction to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, that'll be coming up at about 10:15 my time, which means 1:15 on the East Coast, really late. So let's discuss why they announced this news so quickly. We just heard about the 3 actors and 3 actors that were up for it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's announced. Why was that done so quickly? You guys are smart. MMT viewers, we are the smartest collective of any channel out there. I know that for a fact, because you guys, when your comments, they're always on point. They're so far advanced compared to what the other channels are, because you guys are smart. You're industry people. You get it. Why did Warner Brothers put this news out today? They wanted to get the stink of the Flash out of there. They don't want to discuss the Flash anymore. They don't want you discussing the Flash. They want it erased from your mind. And how do you do that? You announce massive news of the new Superman and Lois Lane on a Tuesday afternoon, because that wipes the Flash out of the press. Look at our streams. Was it the biggest bomb ever? Will it be? It's certainly in discussion for that. Go back and watch those. But now, no one's talking about that. James Gunn's like, this is perfect. I don't have to think about the Flash. Everyone will ask me about Superman Legacy, not the Flash. Brilliant PR play by Warner Brothers on this Tuesday. Let's go to your comments. What do you think about the casting? Welcome to the channel. Those of you who've never been here before, this is what we do. We do it live. None of this edit, live. And the mistakes are fairly obvious because we leave them in. Manolo, welcome to the channel. Like the casting, Gunn's off to a good start. Exactly. He is 6'4", buck teeth bandit. That's what we give me a like for this. Come on, guys. You've been here. Who called that? That's another one for me. That's another point. Bing. Ring it up. Ding. There's one. There's ding. There's another. I just do a stream where just like literally we have a sound. That was the point. There's another, because we said this guy has to be 6'2" minimum, and now it's 6'4". That's what you're looking for, because that's what Cavill was. So it has to happen. Mega YouTube, I wanted Emma Mackey, but now I think about it, Brosnan's a great choice. And you can, again, the key here is you can use both of these actors to carry through a decade of Superman films. It's not just about Superman Legacy. It's about the additional DCU, not DCEU, going forward. And you need a younger actor and actress to be able to do that. You can't cast someone who's 38, because then they're going to be closer to 50. And let me tell you, as someone who is no longer 28, there's a big difference between 38 and 48. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's a 2-stream day. It's MMT Premium. Yeah, we're on mid-afternoon movie talk. Thank you. Mr. Guerra, welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Most importantly, more comments. I don't watch Mrs. Maisel, but apparently she's very good in it. It's a huge show, right, Mulchy? I mean, like, everybody watches the show. Manola watches it. Life of Brian, thanks for being here. 5 a.m. for you, Jamie. This is a lot easier, right? Listen, it's fun to be able to do this when we do these streams, and we can do a breaking kind of situation and just get into it fast, because I know there's a lot. Let's just say what it is. There's a lot of YouTubers out there who can't do what we're doing right now. That's the reality of it. They have to do 500 takes to get it right. They have to edit. And that's why we just go boom. We are live, always live. It makes it easier for me. I don't have to do any editing. You guys are part of the show. Why not? If we can do it, we can do it, and we did it. Cavill's a wooden, limited, boring actor. Horrid films, just like we said, I mean, no one's talking about Henry Cavill as best actor in anything that he's ever been in. You don't need that with Superman. So Corn Sweat doesn't have to live up to some lofty expectations that were set by Henry Cavill from an actor, from a thespian standpoint. The only thing you need to do is be able to fill out the suit. I imagine the first thing that Warner Brothers execs are telling Corn Sweat right now is get into the gym. He doesn't look like he is as physically fit as Henry Cavill. And that's one thing Hollywood's going to demand. And you don't want to have, as we saw with Shazam, you don't want to have the foam muscles. You want to have an actor who can literally have the delts to work into the costume. Maybe a tiny bit of padding, but you don't want the goofy looking Shazam look. And that's because Zach Levi is not jacked. He's not in shape. Not like Henry Cavill. You need somebody who can fit the suit. You're almost casting for the suit more than anything. As long as Corn and Sweat is able to string together some words. I mean, can you say whatever you need? Well, here's the dialogue. Can you just at least make this somewhat comprehensible? God, you look good. That's all that matters. This is more a case of looking the part than actually being the part. If Corn and Sweat, and I go back, I remember Pearl, he's good in it. Small scene, Mia Goth goes in, bangs him in the theater. Let's just be blunt. And there we go. So I don't remember much of him, but I know that if he can just at least semi-act, he's going to be fine because he's 6'4". You put the muscle on and he's ready to go. You don't have to do a whole lot with him. And that's what you're doing here. But I can't stress this enough, you guys. You have to understand that this PR move to put this news out, I'm talking quickly. They wanted this. They probably worked at the quickest pace they ever had to make a decision because they want people to stop discussing The Flash. The Flash and the stink of possibly the biggest bomb ever in the history of cinema, definitely top 5. You don't want to be discussing that anymore. You don't want people even thinking about it. And how do you erase that from the mind? Men in Black, look at the pen. That's exactly what just happened. No one's going to talk about The Flash because James Gunn is a master at PR and Warner Brothers execs. Kudos to you guys. Gavin, James Gunn said he isn't starting new from scratch, which is baffling considering the box office disaster of The Flash. Listen, Gunn, the one thing that Gunn is good at and also is one of his worst traits. They always say that. Whatever your best trait is, tends to be one of your worst as well. And people say that about me here on the channel. You are super opinionated. And at times that'll get me up against it. People go, oh, that was too much. But conversely, when you are mega absolutely forceful with what you believe, then it comes across and you guys read this hopefully as authentic. There was zero shilling involved with Midnight Movie Talk. There is nobody on YouTube doing movies, nobody, and I mean this, not one person more authentic than what you get here on MMT. I know that because everything that comes out of this mouth is believed 1,000,000% by me. I'm never going to say something just to say it. We certainly do not do virtue signaling. Scott Davis, nice to see us live stream, semi-decent UK time. What time is it there? It's like 11:30, right? Great casting, especially Brosnahan. Huge fan since House of Cards. Didn't watch House of Cards either. So it's kind of, this is weird. I don't watch House of Cards. I didn't watch Mrs. Maisel. So now it's like, I only know her from I'm Your Woman, which is, you guys are like, what the hell are you talking about? That is what MMT is in a nutshell. We specialize in small films and knowing actors from that, like Pearl, Corn Sweat. A lot of you probably haven't seen Pearl. And thank you. Yes, Moa, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Couple more, and then I'm going to go to another topic here. We really hammered this. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to do here, as far as Superman Legacy. We nailed it. Can't wait for Eric to post side-by-side. I mean, why not? Of course I will. Are you kidding me? Of course. Yeah, no padding. 100% no padding. MT's number one fan. Oh, I like it. I like the new name here. First time viewing because I live in Hong Kong and I'm awake. Hey, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the super chat. We'll do this when there's something that warrants it. I mean, this is why we do things live, because we're able to just go, boom, let's go. Let's discuss this on a Tuesday afternoon. Again, brilliant PR play by Warner Brothers. How do you become a member? Just go to, it's there. We just changed it up. Watch tonight. I'll try to go through that because I don't really have it in front of me. Someone else help me with that. So I'll get that information for you. Let's go to topic number 2, and we still will talk about Superman and David Cornsweet becoming the new Clark Kent and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. But I do want to mention this because we are all about theatrical. Those of you who know Midnight Movie Talk know we don't talk about streaming stuff. That's why I don't watch Mrs. Maisel, House of Cards. We are all about, if it's in a theater, we've seen it. And we are familiar with it, and we are going to analyze it as a film and break it down from all the perspectives, from a evaluation standpoint and also from certainly a box office standpoint. And in this case, this is absolutely a box office segment. Five Nights at Freddy's, the new trailer debuted today. I would show it to you and we'd pull it up, but I'd get a copyright strike. So go watch it when the stream's over. It doesn't even matter about the trailer. That's not what we're going to talk about. What we're going to discuss is Universal and Jason Blum. They're deciding to make this day and date. It is dumb. This is we are not in 2020. We are not in 2021, 22, 2023. Why are you taking a film that would slay theatrically and making it day and date? If you don't know what that means the exact same day that it drops in theaters, it's going to be on Peacock, NBC Universal's streaming service, the same day. And if you don't think that's going to affect box office on a film like Five Nights at Freddy's with a lot of younger kids, they're going to just get on Peacock and watch it. They're not going to the theaters. We can't be doing this anymore. So I don't know if it's Jason Blum. I don't know if it's Universal. Whoever made this decision, they need to revoke it. They need to make that happen like now. It is no longer day and date, because what happens when you start doing this is you begin again to tell people that, hey, it's going to be at home, and then theatrical suffers again. What's our number one? Absolutely, our mission is to keep theaters going for as long as we can. I never want to see, and I know we've seen some struggles, and some of you want to debate whether we're back to 2019, 2018, 2017 levels. There are signs that we absolutely are, but we've also suffered losses. Theaters closing. A lot of films are struggling that are smaller. You know why? Because of this situation. When you give a film to people at home at the same time it's in theaters, they're gonna choose the home option. A ton of them are. Not you and me, because we love movies. We're gonna go to the films. We're gonna see it in the theater because we love theatrical. But if you're just like some random person, you're gonna watch it at home because you can get Peacock for what, $7 a month. So this is dumb. Really stupid decision. And it's not just that. It's bad for the industry. It hurts theatrical. And Universal, Jason Blum, I'm calling you out. I've called you out multiple times today on Twitter, and I'm doing here on the stream. If you want to come on, I will absolutely, I want to hear your take. Why are you putting this day and date at Peacock, at home, versus just making it theatrical? It is an absolutely bewildering situation. It'd be a huge hit in theaters for the younger crowd who grew up with it. All those people will miss the collective audience interaction now. Very sad. Greasy Guido, yes, that is what theatrical is. What did Quentin Tarantino say? He says it is a communal experience. That's why he loves movies so much. That's why he makes movies for the big screen. Same here. We don't even pay attention to films that are streaming only. I was passing a billboard for, what's the Sydney Sweeney movie? It's on HBO Max. A lot of you say, you need to watch that. It's good. You know why I haven't? Because it's on HBO Max. And Warner's didn't put it in theaters. And once you do that, I am going to not watch. I'm not going to discuss it. To earn discussion time here on MMT, you got to be in theaters. You have to have theatrical exclusivity. And even Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm debating whether I want to talk about it. It's a big film, obviously. It's going to be a big talker, huge talker, but I'm pissed. I am pissed off, and it's exactly right. Theaters are holy grounds. They're sacred premises. They are our cathedrals of cinematic worship. And theatrical will always be the best way to watch. The only thing, I know someone's going to come in here with a comment and say this. Well, someone's texting, someone's talking. Yeah, listen. I get it. There's some shitty people out there. When you go to a movie and they're on their phone and they're talking, they're leaning over and having a discussion with somebody. Here's my rule for the theater. You don't need to talk to the person on either side of you, whoever you brought to the theater, as soon as the trailers are over. During the trailers, fine, whatever. You don't talk. When the movie starts, whoop, It's zipped. It's over. You're not saying a word to either person. You can lean over like this, like, hey, oh my God, you see that? Not like this. Hey, blah, blah, blah. I was in a movie like a few years ago. I can't remember what it was. The guys behind me, the kids, were blathering on like a discussion like they'd have at home. Thank God the movie was terrible, whatever I was watching. But I'll never forget that if that's your experience at a theater, then I understand why you wouldn't be as high. When you are a patron of the AMC Burbank down the street here, I can get there in 5 minutes. That is, you talk about a cathedral. The people who go to that theater are knowledgeable cinephiles, a lot of industry folks here in LA. It's one of the smartest AMC theaters, and there's 3 of them there, in the entire world, because you have Christopher Nolan goes there. Actors and actresses go there all the time because now there's no ArcLight Hollywood, so they all went to AMC Burbank. It's my favorite. It's my home ground, and I don't ever have to deal with someone on their phone, someone talking, because the people there treat movies like they are sacred, which they are. Yes, Goober, it is mid-afternoon movie talk for those of you who are here on this Tuesday. A big fan. Just wondering what your favorite. Can we? I'm gonna save. I'm gonna make the stream super tight. Ivan, I'll answer that. Bring that back on Thursday, and I got to go back and watch. Trust me when I say this. There's a lot of films I still need to watch. So I'm not going to argue about that. There's films that to this day, I say to myself, I'm not going to go over them right now, but I go, you know what? I really need to watch these films. But truthfully, if I go back and I look at all the, boxes checked of films that I have seen in my lifetime, I'm doing pretty well. So I speak from a pretty solid background of growing up, watching films, college, farther on in life now, doing it. Half Speed. No, Brett, we're just hanging out. All right, I'm going to do a couple more comments. I'm going to get out because I'm going to make the stream tight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to get ready for Mission Impossible 7. It's tonight. It's down at Paramount. And I got to get there early because it's going to be slammed. We're going to do the reaction stream at about, I would say 9. No, make that 10. 10:15. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I have to get from here to Paramount on the lot, and then from Paramount back home. So I'm thinking 10:15. So be ready for a live, tight stream at that point. I can do this. Brian Groth, thank you for the super chat. Blue Beetle and Aquaman will further damage the DC brand. Blue Beetle, without question, will bomb. It is going to crater. It's going to be a massive miss. It's going to be another Shazam 2 for DC. They know it. We already talked about it the other night. Hooray for representation. The problem is most people are not going to go support a film for representation. You know why they're going to support it? Because the film is good. I don't support films for representation no matter what it is. I support a film because I want to see it, and I want to see a good film. This is very simple. We do not do virtue signaling. We do not rate films higher or lower based on the sex of anyone involved, based on the race of anyone involved. We evaluate films based on the quality of the film. Boom. Blue Beetle looks terrible. It's going to bomb. Next, I haven't seen it. I'm just telling you, it's dead. Blue Beetle is dead man walking. Aquaman is going to suffer as well because of the Flash. It's got the stink. And now I think at this point, Blue Beetle is an August film. Just dump it out there knowing it's going to bomb. Then Aquaman is a Christmas quarter film. If I were DC, I know they spent a ton of cash on it. If it isn't going to be incorporated into the DCU going forward, I mean, I'm not saying you Batgirl it, but you put it out in like January. Mid-January is a terrible time for movies. Just throw it out there and just get it out of the house. Move on. And I think that is the best play for these films. Blue Beetle, there's nothing that you can fix about it. How many times have we seen? I didn't even want to go down this road, but now that I've started, how many times have we seen Blue Beetle, the film? How many fucking times have we seen, here comes this young kid who finds the suit, magical powers, and then there they go, learning how to fly and facing the bad guy. Whoa, look at this. I can create a giant sword. It looks like every film we've seen before. Nobody I know is excited for Blue Beetle except for representation. Not enough. We do not go to movies for representation. I'm tired of having this freaking discussion. It is about the quality of the film. Now, if Blue Beetle, when I see it, I say, hey, it's great, period. Not great because it's the first Latino superhero. That's not why a film is great. It's not. It can't be. Please give me a like now because I can't do this enough because I want to just drive it like a stake through the heart of the people who are like, representation isn't. No, it's not. It matters. No one is going to argue that. That's not the reason you tell people to see your movie. People go to the movie because it's great. It's outstanding. It's worthy of your time. They don't go because it's the first Latino superhero. Don't do that. That's not, you're devaluing film by doing that. Don't do it. It's just, ugh. It's gross. It's virtue signaling. It's gross, and I will not have any of it. None of it. We're going to rate Blue Beetle. We didn't say, it looks like every other superhero we've seen that finds the magical suit and explores his or her powers. Marvel's is coming up. We just got Shazam. We've already been through Iron Man. We got Iron Heart and Wakanda Forever. I can't watch another one of these, even if it's for kids. It looks absolutely stakeless, right? What are the stakes?
Oh, here comes Blue Beetle.
Oh, God, that movie looks bad. Here's the sub headline: Weber hates Latino folks. Shut up. Just do me a favor. Shut up. It's just the movie's good or it's not. Period. End discussion. All right, couple more comments and we're gonna roll out here. Couple more. Anyone got a super chat? Let's do it. Thank you for super chat, Brian. That was great. I didn't know I was gonna go off here in Tuesday afternoon, but why not? Let's go. Let's do it. I don't see any more super chats, so I think we're good. I'm going to roll out, guys, because I want to get ready for tonight. Got to drive down to Paramount. Got to watch MI7. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to mention tonight's kit was Millenarios from Colombia, right? I believe. Why did I pick this kit tonight? Why? Why did I pick it? Because we've got the red, we got the blue, we got the Superman thing going on. I'm going to switch, by the way, the football shirt. Tonight, there'll be a different one. I have too many now. I can move as many as possible. Remember, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Reaction. This is not a review. Coming up tonight, 10:15 on the West Coast. So about 7 hours from now, we'll be back on live discussing that film. It's going to be like a 10-minute stream. There's an embargo in play. And the last thing I need is Paramount pissed at me like they were for, oh, please say it's better than Babylon. But I don't need that again. So I'm only going to just go through the hits, runs, and errors. Is it a good film? Is it a great film? Certainly, I can't imagine it being a bad film. I know Early Word's already out, and it's going to be a solid film. We know that, but how good, how high up the Richter scale are we going on Mission Impossible 7? We'll find out tonight at about 10:15 my time, seeing about 7 hours or so. Until tonight, I will see you back here live from Los Angeles. Eric Weber, peace. MMT out.